I'm so happy to be participating in the Friendship Hop organized by Courtney Kreeber. I will have more details in my description box, so please have a look. I'm starting with a piece of watercolor paper and stamping a floral image with Gina Amalgam ink in Barely There. I'm going for a no-line coloring look. Normally, I would use a distress ink in antique linen, but because this image has lots of details, I feel more comfortable using this amalgam ink, so I don't lose any of the lines. I start by picking up my color and outlining the darkest areas, one petal at a time. Then I rinse my brush, dab the excess water and fill the remaining part of the petal. And then I'm dragging the color into the water. I go back to add more pigment where needed. And that is pretty much it. I have sped up this video a lot and have cut out the repetitive parts because it was going to be a pretty long video. For these purple flowers, I used only one color, but for all the others, I used a light and a dark shade. Here for this flower, I'm starting with a light pink, filling up the petal with a clean clear water, drag the pigment, go back and add darker pink while still wet, and move on to the next petal. And again, here I'm using light and dark color. For the blue flowers, I used just one color. Here I'm adding a light wash of the same purple color. I'm not going to add more to the other flowers. I'm scared to add any because I want them to look light. So I have a little trick which I will show you a bit later in the video. Now I'm adding a dab of yellow to the center and spreading it out with water. Then I will go back and add a tiny dot of darker yellow. Moving on to the leaves. For the smallest ones, I use just one shade of minty looking green. the darker emerald green for the big ones, while trying to have a darker spot right where the leaf is coming under the flower. The upper right corner was looking empty, so I stamped more of the floral image and covered it the same way. Here I have mixed blue, green and grey for more neutral color for the biggest leaves, so that my flowers will pop up more. I usually keep a scrap piece of watercolor paper to test how the color will look, and I will need that for later. I have my stamp set next to me as a reference. Now I'm covering the other big leaves with a bit more blue-gray color. And once I'm done, I will go and fill in all the gaps between the flowers and the leaves. For the remaining images, I used pink for some of them and minty green for the rest. And now it's time to add details. I switched to a smaller brush and testing how colors look over those on my scrap piece of paper. I just go over the existing lines for all the light leaves. I didn't add any details to the other leaves. After everything is done and dry, it's time to assemble the card. I chose a pearlescent pink cardstock to mat my watercolor piece and also die cut twice the word friend from the same cardstock. And now I'm gluing them together. I have trimmed down my watercolor piece. I used the grid sheet to make sure my sentiment is straight. I have adhered everything onto my card base, and now I'm placing the die cut word right above my stamped sentiment. And here is my trick. I use Glimmer paste in Moonstone to add a little bit of something special to those flowers that seem to need something, but I'm too afraid to add more color or detail. I just dab a small amount on each petal and leave it to dry. And now I'm adding carefully clear wing of Sella to the remaining flowers and buds, and few Nuvo glitter drops in each of the flower centers, and then a tiny dream drop. And that is the finished card. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to check the other talented ladies on the hop.